You may think love fails because timing failed, because effort failed, because attraction faded. But what if the deeper truth is this? Your emotional body was asking for a very specific kind of bond, and you were trying to survive inside the wrong one. I want to talk to you about the Dashami Purnima pairing, because this is not a loud pairing. It is not a chaotic pairing. It is not a pairing built on emotional drama, constant proving, or exhausting pursuit. This is a pairing that teaches you what safe intimacy feels like when two emotional worlds stop attacking each other and start holding each other. If you are in a relationship, I want you to listen closely. If you are single, I want you to listen even more closely. And if you are recently divorced, separated, or healing from heartbreak, I especially want you to stay with me, because this pairing reveals something that most people learn too late. Not every strong feeling is compatibility, and not every peaceful bond is boring. Dashami and Purnima create intimacy through emotional safety, quiet depth, and nervous system trust. That is the secret. One partner tends to feel everything, the other tends to steady everything. One absorbs, the other anchors. One senses the emotional atmosphere, the other gives it shape, direction, and containment. So when this pairing is working well, you do not just feel attracted, you feel safe enough to open. You feel safe enough to soften. You feel safe enough to be seen without being managed, judged, dismissed, or emotionally punished. And that matters more than most people admit. Because many people say they want passion, but what they are really addicted to is unpredictability. Many people say they want chemistry, but what they are really responding to is emotional inconsistency. Many people say they want intensity, but they actually keep choosing dysregulation. Dashami Purnima does not seduce you through emotional violence. It heals you through steadiness. Dashami carries sensitivity, empathy, imagination, and a deep inner ocean that is not always easy to organize. This person may feel many things at once. They may dream strongly, sense strongly, absorb other people's moods, care deeply, and sometimes lose clarity because their emotional world is too porous. They can love with incredible sincerity, but they need boundaries, silence, and emotional honesty, or they become overwhelmed. Purnima carries fullness, presence, groundedness, and a quiet confidence that can calm a room. This person often wants to understand what is happening, feel stable inside themselves, and move through life with practical awareness. They do not always need noise to feel alive. They often carry a kind of emotional completeness that allows others to relax around them. Now, do you see the beauty of this pairing? Dashami says, I feel the subtleties. Purnima says, I can hold the whole. Dashami says, I need emotional meaning. Purnima says, I can bring emotional steadiness. Dashami says, I open through sensitivity. Purnima says, I protect through presence. This is why the bond can feel healing. Not because it removes all pain, but because it reduces unnecessary pain. It creates a space where love does not have to be proven through suffering. If you are a couple with this pairing, your deepest strength is not performance. It is emotional refuge. Your bond works best when your home, your conversations, your intimacy, and your daily life begin to feel like a place where both of you can exhale. That means your love gets stronger when you protect softness. It gets stronger when you slow down. It gets stronger when you stop confusing chaos for connection. It gets stronger when you stop making each other earn tenderness. Dashami often gives the relationship empathy, spiritual depth, imagination, care, and emotional attunement. This is the one who may instinctively sense when something is off before a word is spoken. This is the one who may want to help, heal, guide, reassure, or emotionally understand the whole field. But this same gift can become overgiving, confusion, rescuing, or emotional exhaustion if it is not grounded. Purnima often gives the relationship stability, calm, practical care, and a stronger emotional spine. This is the one who can remind the bond that peace is not emptiness, stillness is not disinterest, calm is not lack of love. But the same strength can become overconfidence, emotional assumption, or quiet distance if presence is not matched with emotional participation. So yes, this pairing is beautiful, but only when both people mature. Because when it is immature, Dashami may become flooded, over-influenced, too impressionable, too sacrificial, or too lost in fantasy. Purnima may become too self-contained, too certain, too settled in their own view, or emotionally available only on their own terms. And then the relationship starts to suffer in a very specific way, not through explosions, through subtle emotional starvation, through quiet misunderstandings, through one person needing more reassurance and the other thinking stability should already be enough. That is where awareness changes everything. If you are with someone who carries Dashami energy, do not mistake sensitivity for weakness. Do not dismiss what they feel just because it is hard to measure. They are often responding to emotional realities that other people ignore. But they need support to stay clear, not permission to stay ungrounded. If you are with someone who carries Purnima energy, do not mistake calm for emotional simplicity. Their strength is not coldness. Their groundedness is not emptiness. They often love through steadiness, reliability, and presence. But they need to remember that being strong is not the same as being emotionally expressive. If you are single, this pairing teaches you something crucial. Stop asking only, do I feel pulled? Start asking, do I feel safe enough to become more myself here? Do I feel softer or more guarded? Do I feel emotionally clearer or more confused? Do I feel nourished or just stimulated? That question can save you years, because the wrong bond can make you question your worth, your instincts, your timing, even your capacity to love. The right bond does something very different. It makes you feel more whole, more rested, more emotionally coherent, and more able to trust yourself. That is the promise hidden inside Dashami Purnima. And if you are healing from a breakup or divorce, I want to say this directly to you. Peace may feel unfamiliar at first. After heartbreak, your body may still be scanning for intensity, mixed signals, emotional spikes, and the old pattern of earning love through effort. So when a gentler connection appears, you may misread it as lack of chemistry. Be careful. Sometimes what you call boring is actually safety. Sometimes what you call missing spark is actually the absence of anxiety. Sometimes what you call not enough intensity is actually what healthy love feels like before trauma stops calling the shots. Dashami Purnima is a reminder that love can be warm without being chaotic. It can be deep without being destructive. It can be spiritually meaningful without becoming emotionally confusing. It can be intimate without becoming consuming. In this pairing, intimacy grows through trust, patient observation, emotional permission, and quiet consistency. It is the kind of bond where the heart opens gradually, but once it opens, it can stay open because it does not feel threatened. That makes this pairing excellent for people who want more than attraction. People who want a real emotional home, people who are tired of relationships that demand constant proving, people who want love that can breathe. And let me be clear, this does not mean this pairing is passive. It is not weak, it is not sleepy, it is not bland. It simply channels its power differently. Its power lies in emotional steadiness, in quiet devotion, in the ability to soothe without controlling, and in the grace to remain present without overwhelming each other. So if this is your pairing, your work is simple but not easy. Protect your emotional boundaries. Tell the truth earlier. Do not let silence become distance. Do not let care become rescuing. Do not let steadiness become emotional laziness. Do not let sensitivity become confusion. And do not sabotage peace just because your old pain was louder. Because this pairing reaches its highest expression when both people realize that love is not only about being chosen, it is also about being emotionally safe in the presence of the one who chooses you. That is what makes this pairing powerful. That is what makes it intimate. That is what makes it sustainable. If you want to understand whether you naturally create refuge in love or chaos in love, whether you attract intensity or emotional safety, whether your Tithi supports healing, bonding, and long-term intimacy, get an intimacy reading and compatibility reading with me. I will help you see what your emotional body is really asking for, what patterns you keep repeating, and what kind of love will actually support your future instead of reopening your wounds. If this spoke to you, stay stay with this work, share it with the person who needs to hear it, and reach out to me for your intimacy reading and compatibility reading. You do not need more confusion. You need the right mirror, the right insight, and the right bond. And before you give your heart again, ask yourself one final question. Does this connection make me smaller or does it make me steadier? Dashami Purnima teaches you that the right intimacy does not force you to perform, chase, collapse, or disappear. It teaches you to return to yourself while loving someone else. That is real compatibility. That is mature desire. That is the kind of love worth building, protecting, and choosing with open eyes. Let that truth change how you choose love now.